Welcome to NFL Conference Championship week of On Top the Cage. I think it is our 20th week doing shows.
I need a vacation.
Vacation. Danny's paid. It is. I think it is our 20th week. As always, Dan's to my left. I'm here. Ken. It is frigid today.
It's freezing out.
Yeah, it's the coldest day I guess we've had so far in 2021. It's like 20 degrees.
It's definitely the coldest for this show in your garage.
Oof, yeah, it's cold for sure. That's 1 degree more than 19. So, in any event, we're out here doing our thing, and we're glad you're watching. So we have new POTUS, Inauguration Day.
You do, I don't. That's your president, not mine.
I suppose. Hopefully, the next 4 years go okay. Regardless of political views.
We're screwed the next 2 years.
Next two?
Yep.
All right. Well, congratulations to President Biden and Vice President Harris. All right. Very good. It is super cold out here. What's going on? Anything good going on this week with you?
No, let's get to the beer challenge, though, first, because it's got jalapenos in it.
It is cold.
Might warm us up.
Last week, Dan and I were talking about the end of the show. If you watched to the end, a belated Christmas present that I received from my father-in-law, Tom. Stay tuned, Tom. We got a little segment for you coming up here in a bit anyway. But it was some hot sauce, and we were talking about doing Bloody Marys, and I'm not a fan of tomato juice. So
I am. I still expected to see a Bloody Mary for me, even though you're a sissy and can't drink it.
It's not that I'm a sissy.
No Bloody Mary, though.
My brother-in-law, Tim, makes great Bloody Marys. I don't drink
Well, you should have got his recipe and made me one.
He's zing-zang, and he puts a bunch of other stuff in it and things like that. It doesn't happen very often. I mean, I probably had a half a dozen Bloody Marys in my life, and it's generally when my family gets together, and it only takes one, to say, let's do some AM drinking when we wake up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I never missed that bus or missed that boat, and I'm always involved. He makes a pretty good one, but yeah, that can lead to trouble always. So, all right, the next closest thing I could find was a jalapeno IPA by the Masthead Brewing Company.
Let me get this straight. You don't like tomato juice, but you like jalapeno beer.
I don't know. I haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
6.8% alcohol from the Masthead Brewing Company in Cleveland. We will see. I might need some antacid or need to change. I might start hiccuping. I don't know. Well, that's new. I got the first drink before Dan.
I know. It smells like an IPA.
I think I'm fine. It's kind of like a creeper. It's kind of in the back of my throat.
Yeah, I don't taste jalapeno at all in this.
I don't taste it right now either, but it comes. I feel like it's creeping. I feel like it's coming up. I think I'll make it through without
Tastes
hiccuping.
like a good IPA. I don't taste the jalapeno at all, though. I'm a little disappointed.
I do. Maybe your palate is better for that type of stuff.
I didn't even smell it.
It's too cold.
Maybe.
Too cold.
Maybe I have COVID.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Dan and I talked about before we went on set. We will be back in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, which is February 7th in Tampa. This week for me, I went to a dentist for the first time.
Oh.
In a long time. I'm on the decade plan, as I call it. Go once every 10 years. It's probably been at least 12. This time I had a little sensitivity in the bottom left part of my mouth. In any event, Dan and my wife were harping on me and convinced me to go. Dan has a good buddy who's a dentist. I went to see Dr. Hudak and his crew. They were great. The hygienist told me I have pretty teeth.
Good for you.
I don't know if she likes off-white and big or
Yeah.
I don't know why. But anyway, everything was fine. I did not have a cavity. I have a filling that is deteriorating or something to this effect. They scheduled me an appointment for March 16th. I guess I'll go back. I don't know.
The day before St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
My teeth will be hurting. Am I going to be fine to drink alcohol and beer?
Absolutely. But you can use that as an excuse to call off the next day. I had this massive dental procedure. I can't work on the 17th.
I know my appointment is on a Tuesday, so that's a bad day for St. Patrick's Day. That puts it on a Wednesday, I believe. It's no fun when they're on Wednesdays.
There's not a bad day for St. Patrick's Day. Come on, you tool bag.
Dan's Irish, certainly Irish. My mother's Irish, my father's German. I got all the good drinking genes
I just
in my
like to
family.
celebrate all the major holidays.
That is a major one. I love it. It used to be, I swear to God, it still stays so cold up here. I feel like we haven't had a good weather St. Patrick's Day in a while.
It's been
where
a while.
Like 60
I mean,
degrees or so, or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, last week, let's talk about that.
Woo! 4-0, baby.
Oh, he wants to talk about his record of last week. Dan did.
I thought that's where we were going.
Dan swept out last week. He did go 4-0. I went 2-2. I got both of the NFC games wrong. I got both of the AFC games right. Obviously, Dan hit the nail on the head on all of them.
I should retire.
You should retire.
From picking games.
Oh, I thought you meant your other gig.
What, work?
We need sponsors. We need sponsors if you gotta retire. Anybody want to sponsor us? How about
Masthead should sponsor us. We drink their beer all the time.
Yeah, or Shea. We need Traeger or somebody like that.
Traeger. Pit Boss.
Yeah, we need some grilling and smoker people, man. Yeah, that's all we need.
Hey, the new fire station right around the corner, they have a freaking Pit Boss sitting out there on that patio. I saw the cover. I was like, I recognize the cover.
You got to stop by and see what they're doing. I mean,
I'm like, what the hell? These guys got all the time in the world to smoke something on that thing.
You been in there?
I haven't been in there. It looks the Taj Mahal fire station.
It is a nice fire station.
They got a freaking covered patio with a Pit Boss sitting there.
We get a lot more of sirens going by the neighborhood and things like that since they added another fire station in our town. Do fire stations still have the poles, man? You got to shimmy down the pole and things. They still have those?
Those dudes probably have an escalator in that thing. It's so nice.
Yeah, probably right. That's funny.
A pole.
What about, have you been playing the lottery? The power?
I did buy a ticket last night. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I went to the drive-thru and picked up a case of beer, and I'm like, hey, what's that lottery thing? Because I don't buy them all the time, but I'm like, hey, $2. What the hell?
It's like
for $800 million.
Yeah, it's well over $500 million. We're 7, 8.
Nobody won, did they? Yesterday?
No, it's still going.
Hell, next time I need beer, I'm going to get another one.
We have this thing at the office where we're pooling money and things like that, but now it's like $40 a week now all of a sudden because it's Powerball and Mega Billions are approaching $1 billion, like both of them. It's insane. I feel the beer.
I just burped and tasted jalapeno. So
turn the other way when you do that. So yeah, we're in. I play. We'll see what happens with that. I think you got a better chance of getting struck by lightning like 8 to 10 times before you win one of these lotteries.
But you never know.
All right, football news in regards to stuff. Super Bowl odds. I saw those come out today. They still have the Chiefs up at the top to be the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and the Packers are right behind them, and then the Bills and the Bucks. We'll talk about who we think's playing the best and things like that. So other NFL news that came out, the NFL Combine got canceled. So.
No, I mean that's.
But I like it. Well, what I like about the NFL Combine, not only I don't really watch it.
Because it's something to watch.
Yeah,
what do you mean? I turn it on. I'm not a basketball fan.
What really?
And soccer hasn't started yet.
What really happens there, though, besides obviously these players doing whatever they do, go through all these routines and things like that for the teams, is that all the general managers are there, the owners are there. It facilitates activity and trade and things like that. I think that's going to maybe impact things a little bit. I hope not. But and obviously that Deshaun Watson thing that is kind of brewing is a huge story. And whether or not Houston's going to cut bait with that whole situation, I don't know.
Hey, that's a mess.
It's an absolute disaster. He's a great player.
And whoever agrees to let a player be involved with the business decisions, I got a problem with that. Seriously. I mean, come on. You play football. That's it. We're paying you a shit ton of money to throw the ball and play football and be the quarterback of the team. End of story. You don't get to pick the general manager.
You don't like the idea that Watson is somewhat trying to force his way out of town? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what you're saying.
Well, no, I don't like the fact that they said or it was supposedly discussed that he was going to be part of the decision-making. He can try and force his way out of town. He's got a contract. You either live up to your contract or you don't.
He also has a no-trade clause.
Yeah.
He's only 25. I mean, I would love my team, the Bears, to have a chance. They don't have the draft capital for him. I mean, the teams that do.
Send them to the Jets.
The Jets, the Dolphins certainly have the draft capital with the 3 and 18 picks. I think they have, if I'm not mistaken.
2.
The Fins.
The Jets. I thought you
The
said
Jets
the
are 2.
Jets. Jets are 2.
I mean, the Jets could They could offer Darnold. They could offer the 2 and other things. You're going to need more than that. I mean, the Dolphins could offer 2 or 3 and 18 probably. And that might get it done. I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of a developing story and things like that.
It's a train wreck there.
It is. I mean, he's a great player, and he's only 25 though, and he can change. He can change a franchise. So,
maybe.
Other NFL news: we do have some new coaches in the National Football League. The Jets, they settled on Robert Saleh, defensive guy.
Hey, I always thought he was blessed at his time with the 49ers. Because that defense was stacked. I mean, if you couldn't win with the guys that they had on that team playing that defense, then you suck.
But their defense was great, and they were just injured all year. But anyway, I hear you. And I've harped about this before, about the NFL is such an offensive league right now. Why would you ever hire a defensive-minded head coach? I know I've said that probably multiple times during our 20 weeks of doing this. But they went that way. I get it. He probably deserved a job. The Chargers, which I think is the best.
This one, yeah.
I think it's the best job available on the board, if you ask me.
Yes.
I mean, obviously Justin Herbert played great. He's going into his second year. I'm not sure how you don't go for an offensive mind. I thought Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator from Buffalo, was going to get that job for sure. I think it hurts that he's still playing, or his team is still in the playoff chase here and things like that.
Who does it hurt to wait, though? If that's the guy you want, you pick the defensive coordinator from the Rams?
Yeah, Brandon Staley got that job.
Again, another defense that's loaded with talent.
The Lions went with Dan Campbell, an ex-player, offensive guy. I guess
6-year contract.
Yeah, whatever. The Lions will do Lions things. The Jags with their splash play from the collegiate ranks and Urban Meyer. And the Falcons. The Falcons decided on Arthur Smith, who was the offensive coordinator for Tennessee. He does not need a job. His father happens to be the founder of Federal Express. I don't think he's hurting for money.
Yeah, I hope not.
No kidding, right? Holy cow! All right. Last week was fun.
Wait, let's go. While we're talking about the coaches, how about Bieniemy not getting hired?
Not yet. I mean, obviously, there's a big harping for this stuff, but
but who's harping about it? The news media. These teams have interviewed him. Is there something we don't know about him? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because the Jags are up for not interviewing a minority candidate,
right?
So they might be in trouble.
I don't know if Bieniemy's had a couple of interviews already.
He's had this year he's had a couple. Last year he's had a couple.
Maybe he doesn't interview well, though. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
It might be a thing. I mean,
maybe they're like, "Oh."
Everybody is harping on this fact that Eric Bieniemy deserves to be a head coach, and is this a race thing?
But does he deserve it?
I don't know.
I mean, it's the media that's harping on that he deserves to be a head coach, but there's multiple teams have interviewed him, and they're all going, maybe not.
And that stuff is real, because I remember in my career, thinking to myself, like, maybe I'm not the best candidate that they have to interview, but you give me a chance in that room and I'll win the interview. And I always win the interviews. I'm talking a lot about myself and touting myself a little bit, but give me a chance in front of people, I'll win the interview. And maybe that's the opposite for Eric Bieniemy.
I don't know. I just think it's odd that, we've been through this cycle with him for, I'll say 3 years, maybe 3 years ago it wasn't ready yet, but last year and then
it is 3 years
this year,
because that was,
come on.
It was Matt Nagy that the Bears poached from Andy Reid's tree in Kansas City, and then Bieniemy assumed that position. So you're right. It's been 3 years where, obviously the Andy Reid tree is very fruitful, and we'll talk about Andy Reid and his set of cojones and things like that. I'm sure at some point in time.
Well, then you got the Steelers too firing their offensive coordinator, going with Matt Canada, proven college coach. He was the quarterback's coach.
Where's Matt Canada from?
He was at LSU. He's been with the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think this was his first year at the Steelers, but he's been around college quite a bit. He's the new offensive coordinator for the Steelers. So.
That's a team that's in probably transition as well. We'll see what happens with Ben. Speaking of that stuff, Phillip Rivers announces a retirement today. It is Wednesday. Obviously, you know that when we talked about the inauguration and things like that. But as far as the vacancies still left, it is the Eagles and Houston that have vacancies left. So that is that. Set change here. The last couple of weeks, you probably saw that huge football field border.
That shit is gone.
It is. What happened was it was New Year's Eve, and I was off work and I was tooling around running errands and things like that. I went to this party store place, right? I was gonna get some New Year's Eve crap, whatever. The New Year's Eve crap is all black and gold. I don't even like any of that shit. And immediately, I see they had the Super Bowl stuff out, and I find this runner and I put it up here, but I didn't like it. So it came down. So that's the set change. One other thing that's on the set is my brother-in-law Teddy. I like this idea of the United States Postal Service sucking, and I get belated presents.
Georgia Bulldog.
It is. Last week we had that hot sauce thing that came from my father-in-law Tom Daly. It arrived obviously super late. This present just arrived the other day, and
nice. It's like Hanukkah.
It's like the 7 days. Yeah. It is. But yeah, he has his little corner over there. If you can see it in the far left, it is Atlanta United and the Georgia Bulldogs. So thank you for the Christmas presents. I did tell him that if he sent me a Guardian flag, I would put it up.
Next time Georgia has the cojones to play Notre Dame, it's going behind the one with the national championships. We'll move it so it's underneath that.
There you go. He did get approval first. Are you going to put this up, Ken, if I actually send this? I did.
Oh, right under the Atlanta United flag, I see.
Family is family, so for sure. Speaking of my wife's side of the family, there was...
Oh, yeah!
There was
classic!
There was an awesome thing that happened in regards to text. We have this kind of boys text strand with Katie's side of the family and all of my brother-in-laws. Teddy, Grant, Billy, Katie's father, Tom, and I'm on this thing, and largely it's football and girls and other stupid crap more than anything. But anyway, my father-in-law, the NFL Network has been what they've been doing, and you see it back here. We had problems getting up our logo and things like that. But in any event, the NFL Network has been showing replays of games from the previous year.
Right.
I saw the Kansas City Browns game on there. What happened?
Oh, yeah, that was from 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, and they've been showing this throughout the week and things like that, just filling their programming, if you will. And on Saturday afternoon, the game started at 4:30. That game was the LA Rams and the Green Bay Packers. But the NFL Network was showing a replay of the Baltimore Raven Buffalo Bill game from 2019. And my father-in-law, who's pushing 80, still, manages to drink 8 beers a day, whatever it is. He's an absolute stud, no questions about it. But he sent a text that said, to the boys' text where we're all on, I bet on Buffalo and Josh Allen is playing like the stiff of his first 2 years. He was not happy, by the way. So what happens is,
he was getting pissed because he hates the Ratbirds, too.
Here comes the litany of responses. What are you talking about? That game has not started yet. What the fuck is right? Buffalo plays tonight. Tom, you hitting the weed? Is that the devil's lettuce talking? Old man may have had a stroke. Wacky tobacco. Maybe he's a time traveler. He's watching last week's...
Hey, Tom, screw the Ravens. Screw the Ratbirds, baby.
Teddy got worried on point and said, Dad, are you okay?
I get pissed watching that replay, too. I don't blame you.
I piled on. I wrote, hey, tell me what happens, Tom. I will put the mortgage on the game right before kickoff.
Screw the Ratbirds.
Anyway, we alerted him. He had the wrong game on. He found his way to Fox and and the Green Bay Ram game. So anyway, poking a little fun there. So all right.
He's a Ratbird hater, and he just wanted to get on early.
That was awesome. That was a fun moment. In any event, we are down to 3 football games, I guess. Now we're approaching the football funeral. 2 weeks from now, we'll have the Super Bowl, February 7th in Tampa. There's a chance, first time ever, that one of the teams still alive, obviously the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, could be playing in their home stadium for the Super Bowl. Think they'll allow the cannon fire if that really happens?
If they if they play at their home stadium, there better be cannon fire, and they better find a new guy to fire the cannon. I'll drive down there and do it.
There you go. Dan and I talked briefly. We were going to come back in 2 weeks, the Wednesday or Thursday before the Super Bowl. We'll give our Super Bowl predictions. We'll talk about game day menu. We'll have some prop bets, talk about who's doing the national anthem, all this other good stuff. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. We decided we're going to do that. That was just earlier as we had some technical glitches, and Dan and I were just sitting here bullshitting in the garage for like 20 minutes. So, all right, on to the games. These are both, it's crazy. These are both rematches from week 6 of the National Football League, which puts us probably in, mid to late October. The first game up, and they're both on Sunday. The first game up is the Nfc Championship Game. It is at 3:05 p.m. It is on Fox. That's Troy Aikman and Joe Buck on the call. The Bucks.
Awful.
You don't like Buck and Aikman?
I hate Buck.
Why do you hate Buck?
He's a douche. I like his dad.
Oh my God, I love his
douche.
dad.
Joe, that kid's an idiot. I can't stand him.
I love his father, Jack Buck, and I grew up in central southern Illinois. I grew up as a St. Louis Cardinal baseball fan per my father. I used to go to sleep to Jack Buck's voice every night, listening to the Cardinal broadcast on my little crappy transistor radio because that was a long time ago. In any event, yeah, I love Jack Buck. His son comes off a little pompous at times and things like that. But the Bucks, they are in. They entered this tournament as a 5 seed on the NFC side. The Green Bay Packers, they are hosting in Lambeau. They are the 1 seed. The line is the Green Bay Packers minus 3.5. Over under 51.5.
Weather forecast is 24, 50% chance of snow.
Cold. Perfect.
Lambeau.
It's not like Tom Brady's not used to playing in that.
Well, no. Tom is not. Gronk is not. But I don't know about the rest of the team. Antonio
Brown's not. He played in Pittsburgh.
Antonio Brown hasn't really played for the Bucks.
I'm not worried about the weather. The Bucks last week, they beat kind of a sloppy Saints team. The Saints.
Yeah, they're a mess.
The Saints it's a tough way for Drew Brees to go out.
He's hurt. He ain't right.
No, I saw his wife. His wife said he had a torn rotator cuff.
Yeah.
He had all those rib fractures. He had a collapsed lung. It was tough. Did you see that video of him and Tom Brady afterwards? And
I did.
Brady
That
doing
was
ball
cool.
his kid. Yeah, that's an awesome thing. That football fraternity thing is a real thing, and obviously those.
I'm glad we got to see that.
Me too. Those guys are two really good dudes. I think. Obviously Drew Brees does a ton, and I think Tom Brady does too as well. But anyway, Tom Brady and my brothers and father-in-law say he's got to deal with the devil between Super Bowls and supermodels and super everything. I don't know about that guy. It's hard to root for him, but I think he's a pretty good guy. The Bucks, they've won 6 straight games. They got the turnover. You win the turnover battle in the National Football League, you win the game, like 85% of the time. And they did that. Like I said, they took care of the Saints. The game was a good game, and then they got the turnovers that made the difference.
Yeah, the defense played lights out, but, I'm going to back this up. This is like the Browns playing the Steelers in the first playoff game. The Bucs got beat twice by the Saints. So they showed up to play. They were ready to play. The defense was lights out. Devin White, I talked about him earlier in the year. That dude is – I would love to have a linebacker on the Browns that played like that kid.
He does.
He is freaking fantastic.
He jumps off the screen with his speed, and he sticks people. His athleticism, it jumps.
Yeah.
You can see it.
You watch highlights. That kid is in every play, flying around. My pick on this one, though.
I'm not ready to pick yet.
Are you not ready to pick?
No,
I'm ready to pick.
Remember what happened? In week 6, the Bucks absolutely destroyed the Packers. It was like 38-10, I think, was the final.
Yeah, I'm picking the Packers.
I hear you. The Bucks get Vita Vea back, which is a big deal. That's their run stuffer. He was injured very early in the season, and he's practiced this week. He's in. The Packers, and anybody who knows me will know that this pains me to say this. To me, they look like the best team in the tournament right now.
They do.
They handled the Rams. That game wasn't. They had the game in control from the outset. There was at one point in time, fairly late in the game, either late third quarter or early fourth quarter, and the Rams got the ball back deep inside their own territory, down by 7 with a chance to tie the game. It didn't happen. One of the things that's going great for the Packers is that Aaron Rodgers is healthy. Usually by this time of year, Aaron Rodgers is pretty nicked up because he has a tendency to, extend plays for so long, and he gets banged around, things like that. He's completely healthy. I mean, they put up 32 points against the best team or best defense in the National Football League, or at least in this tournament right now.
They look good, and their defense looked good.
They run three backs. I mean, we'll see. The Packers are minus 3.5 a game again in this game, to reiterate. You're on the Pack?
I'm on the Packers.
It pains me to say it. Me too. I don't see it. I mean, I think the Packers, like I said, I just mentioned a minute ago, they look like the best team in the tournament right now to me. So we're both, Dan and I, agreement on the first game. We'll see what happens in game 2, which is, it follows just afterwards. It is the AFC Championship game. It is at 6:40 p.m. This is CBS's broadcast. That means Nance and Romo. The Buffalo Bills, they are the 2 seed. The Chiefs are the 1 seed in this tournament. Chiefs are, once again, the same line, minus 3.5. The over-under is 54.
Weather forecast, 37 with a rain-snow mix.
Mahomes going to play, too. We're just not even going to talk about that, really. I mean, he was a limited participant today in practice.
And took every snap.
Let's talk about that, Brown. I mean, we have a lot of fans. I mean, obviously, this comes from Northeast Ohio for the people who watch across the country, if you will. But we have a ton of Browns fans in our area that watch this show and things like that. Let's talk about this. You want to talk about the Browns game at all?
Sure. The Browns lost because they didn't take advantage of the opportunities they had. That being said, that bullshit before halftime, that's the...
What bullshit? Wait, what?
The Rashard Higgins reaching out.
The touchback.
Yeah. Okay, first, NFL, stupid rule. If you fumble into the end zone and it goes out, you lose the ball. The other team gets it on the 20. That's dumb.
It is dumb. I agree with that completely.
Okay? We're going to review that to make sure you didn't fumble it, but actually you did fumble it because the guy that hit you made an illegal hit.
Yeah. I guarantee
lowered his head and launched himself like a freaking tomahawk missile and hit you in the ear hole. That caused the fumble.
I guarantee.
And they uphold you losing the ball out of the back of the end zone because somebody made an illegal hit. That's the hypocrisy of the NFL. It's so freaking stupid. I can't believe it. And this bullshit, well, we can only review certain things. Get your shit together, NFL. That's terrible.
I 1,000% agree with everything that Dan said. It's twofold in regards to me. One, when the referees went under the tent, they had to feel like assholes because they completely missed a spearing helmet to helmet.
That freaking official, if you look at the replay, is standing right there and can see the helmet-to-helmet hit.
I get
it. Come on. That guy should be fired and he shouldn't even do a peewee freaking game here locally.
That's not reviewable under the NFL rules, the helmet-to-helmet thing. I guarantee
any helmet shot should be reviewable in the NFL because you're trying to clean up the game. Are you really?
When he went out of 10, I guarantee he knew it wasn't reviewable, and I guarantee his heart sunk and knew he missed this, and it was a huge call. It was clearly, the correct call in regards to the ball going through the end zone and out of bounds. And
that's a stupid rule, but that's the correct call. But we'll find out tomorrow when we find out how much Sorensen gets fined for his missile shot into Rashard Higgins' ear hole.
It already came out. He's not going to be fined or suspended.
That's bullshit. Because if I was any other NFL player that got fined for a helmet-to-helmet hit, I'd be pissed. I'd be calling an attorney to sue them. Because that's horseshit. I mean, that's terrible. If he's not getting fined for that,
he's not. It came out today. No fine, no suspension.
That's a joke.
The other point that
NFL's fixed now. That's it.
That's not true. Let's not talk about that. It's not fixed.
It's fixed.
But I agree completely, Dan. It's a really bad, archaic rule in regards to this. It's way too penalizing. I mean,
you're talking about fumbling out of the end zone. I'm talking about spearing. That rule's been around for freaking ever. Call it.
I understand that. I mean,
we talked about it in the National Championship Game.
Well, you want it to be as reviewable. Like it is
should
in college.
be reviewable.
Right. Unfortunately, it's not reviewable in the NFL right now. And like I said, I mean, I'm sure the referees.
He's not going to be fined. That came out.
Yes, no fine, no suspension.
The NFL.
I'm
done.
I completely. You're not
I'm
done.
on
I completely disagree.
In 2 weeks.
He'll be back. Dan's like, I'm striking for next week. We have no show next week because we have a 2-week hiatus.
Super Bowl show. Screw that.
You're not striking. I think it's too penalizing as well. I mean, in my opinion, and Bill Cowher said it after the show. Dan went on.
Don't even bring up him. I don't even want to hear what he said.
Dan went on range.
I don't care.
Bill Cowher,
give him the ball to 20. Screw that.
Bill Cowher was the only person who picked the Browns to win that game, but
Tell me. I could care less if Bill Cowher picked us to win.
What Cowher said, though, I think makes a lot more sense.
It doesn't make any sense. If they fumble out the back of the end zone, give it to him on the 20. How the hell does that make sense?
It's a hell of a lot better than giving the other team the ball on the 20.
That doesn't make sense. You said it makes sense. Doesn't make sense. Give them the ball where they fumbled it.
Where would you do it? Put them at the 1?
Yeah. That's what happens if you fumble it out of bounds on anywhere else on the field.
That's the other option. Put them at the 1, I guess. I mean, that's certainly an option.
Especially when you get hit in the ear hole from a freaking missile launch.
Right. Regardless of the hit, I mean, I think.
Oh, regardless of the hit.
No.
You don't want to address that part.
No. What I'm saying is, obviously, I think that rule may be addressed.
I feel like I'm going to get a bill after this.
In regards to what the hell are you talking about?
Attorney. I'm going to get billed twice.
Obviously, it highlights this situation, and I think it's a bad rule in regards to how penalizing it is to fumble through the end zone. I think they'll talk about the NFL owners meeting, and maybe we get a change with that next year already. We'll see.
They freaking better change it, or else they can't fix games.
I tell you what, that was a tough loss. A tough loss for the Browns last week. It's funny though, not funny. I mean.
Oh, haha.
It wasn't Dan, but I mean, this thing hit hard. There was my buddy Shannon sent me a text that said, "I think I'm going to cry." And there was somebody at the office on Monday that said, "I'm almost positive my husband cried." He didn't let me see it, but he did. I don't know. Maybe the Browns.
What, for the Browns?
Yeah.
Screw that, because the Browns had an interception and went 3 and out after that. So it's their own damn fault. I'm not blaming the ref. The rule's stupid. The guy should have thrown the flag on the helmet.
They were just upset they lost. It wasn't saying that. And we'll talk about that 4th down play and things like that. I mean,
what are we going to talk about?
Browns fans are soft, though, I think. Because I tell
you who's soft? Not me.
It wasn't you. But, when that happened to the Bears and Cody Parkey, who happens to be the Browns field goal kicker,
did
that double doink when the Bears should have advanced against Philadelphia. What happened here was there was no crying. There was a loud expletive, 4-letter word that started with F and ended with K. Probably that could have been heard through the Tri-County area.
Get the funk out of here.
And then I think my mother-in-law was here. There was more people here than I probably would have liked for that to happen. And I promptly walked down to my neighbor Brian's house, which is 3 houses down. And he has this retaining wall where a planter sits and things like a pillar thing. I sat on it with my face in my hands for 20 minutes. But I didn't cry. But anyway.
Come on.
Anyway, my wife was making fun of me. I think I went down on my knees one time. It was emotional stuff. But I didn't freaking cry. Anyway, I think the Browns fans.
Hey, you know what? The Browns, if they wanted to win that game, they should have stopped Chad Henne when it was 3rd and 13. And don't let him run for 12 yards.
Oh, I know. That was a huge play. I really thought your team was going to win, especially after Henne threw that horrific interception. And the Browns were running the ball.
Gift.
The Browns were running the ball down their throat at the time. They had all the momentum and things like that. I remember sending out texts, I think you're going to win. I think the Browns, and I really did. So anyway, we're way off track with this stuff. To recap, the Chiefs are favored by 3.5 in this game. The over-under is 54. Buffalo, they won that game against Baltimore. There was a huge pick six, 101-yard return pick six out of the end zone that really kind of changed that game. There was a lot of win in that game. Justin Tucker missing field goals. Buffalo's kicker, I think he's a rookie kicker, if I'm not mistaken, missing field goals. The Buffalo Bills, I love them coming in these playoffs. They haven't really hit their stride at all on offense in these playoffs yet. I haven't seen it.
No, but you haven't even touched on the fact that Mahomes hasn't practiced or was out. Because Mac Wilson is a ninja warrior. He didn't have a concussion. Mac Wilson freaking choked him out. He passed out.
Get out of here. There was not a dirty play.
It wasn't a dirty play, but I'll tell you what, Mahomes got up, tried getting up, and he looked like Jack Sparrow.
That was a little disturbing, a little scary looking. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I didn't even see him in his head, and
no.
I know. It
Did anybody see him hit his head?
He didn't hit his head.
Mac Wilson must have some kind of death grip.
It was like a
He
nerve.
used the force or something.
It came out that it was like a nerve issue. It wasn't a concussion. I mean, he's still in the concussion protocol per the NFL rules. He was a limited participant in practice day. He's playing. I have no doubt that 15's playing in this game.
He's playing, and the NFL's fixed. I'm on the Chiefs because that's who they want.
I don't know about all that.
Come on.
The Chiefs did survive Cleveland. This game happened as well in Week 6. We mentioned it earlier. These are rematches from Week 6 games in the middle or late part of October. That was a game where I remember talking about on the podcast where it must have killed Andy Reid because he ran the ball like all day, all night on them.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That dude who was running back against the Browns? I don't even remember. Edwards?
Oh, Williams.
That dude ran. He ran good.
He did. And there's a question whether or not their rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire comes back this week. He hasn't played in quite a while. I mean, this is 9 straight weeks of the Kansas City Chiefs not covering their number. But you're saying they're going to cover this week?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take the points. I think this is going to be a great football game. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills in the points. I don't know if they're going to win the game. I think this game is super tight, and it comes down to the last, whoever has the ball last, maybe.
Comes down to the officiating, if you ask me.
Stop crying. Your team lost.
I'm not crying. I'm being true.
Kind of sounds like you're crying.
Okay. We have that bullshit. Rashard Higgins gets a freaking missile shot to his ear hole. And then the next game in the first freaking series, the officials call a hit to the head, which is not nearly as bad as what happened. So you don't think the NFL in New York is going, you better watch that shit to the head? Come on.
That play changed the game completely. You're talking about 7 points coming off the board. I'm
not even saying the Browns would win, but it's fixed.
Are they going to give
bullshit?
What are they going to do? I mean, Higgins has played well. Are they going to
sign him?
They're going to give Higgins a contract and dump Odell.
They should. I don't know about dumping Odell. I mean, they got to do
something. They
played
better without him the whole time.
They have
played better without him the whole time.
$30 million tied up.
He's been going what, half the season or more? They've been playing better without him.
I have no problem with getting rid of him. I don't.
I tell you what, it came down.
Trade him.
It came down.
I don't give a shit if you get a 5th round pick. That's fine.
I hear you. I completely agree with that.
I don't.
Get draft
honestly.
capital. I completely agree.
I mean, and then the new national media is going to say, "Oh, they got screwed, or they lost that deal." Or so what? We lost it. That's fine. We played better. Our team played better. We're better than we've ever been. That's fine.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for Cleveland football Brown fans. Certainly, that team is up and coming. Mayfield played great. Six was on point. I mean, his passes are on point. I mean, hopefully, this is kind of a snowball going downhill, and he continues to play, up to the level that you need your quarterback to play in the National Football League.
Well, I have my 2 cents here. They need to re-sign Njoku, 85, the tight end, best tight end on the team.
He wanted out all year. At the beginning, he was complaining.
You watch the games, you watch the film. He's the best blocker at tight end, and he can catch.
He's athletic. That was a knock on him. Well, not knock on him, but when he came in the league, he dropped a couple of big balls. But he's wildly athletic. There's no 2 ways of getting around that. He blocked
his ass off.
He did.
I'm telling you, if you watch him the last 6 games and you watch him play, unbelievable. That kid needs to come back.
He had a great divisional round game. He did. He had a great divisional round game, and they were targeting him a lot. I'm going to take the Bills and the points on this game. So Dan and I we're together on the NFC game. As much as it pains me, we're both on the Packers minus 3.5. Dan took the Chiefs minus the 3.5. I'm taking the Bills plus the points. We'll see what happens. We're off next week. But we'll be back on the Wednesday or Thursday before the Super Bowl. We'll be talking about our Super Bowl prediction. We'll probably find some good prop bets that we like. We'll talk about game day menu, things like that.
So. Yeah, sure.
Very good. I don't know how long we lasted. 40 minutes almost. 39 minutes. Take that, Ethan. All right, thanks for watching. This has been week 20 of On Top the Cage.
See ya.
Bye-bye.